We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.
Now it's time to talk about the companies that you missed.
Regret.
The regrets, the things you wished you'd invested in.
It always comes to this. We wouldn't admit it.
Do you not admit it when you missed out on something?
Of course you don't admit it. You don't want to be a loser.
Dreamaholics, it is great to be with you. Great to be with you. And remember, a dreamaholic is somebody who's completely dedicated to making their passions and dreams become a tangible reality. Question for you. Have you ever had an idea for something that you wanted to do? You know, there's something that was stirring in your heart, a product you wanted to launch, a dream you wanted to pursue, something you wanted to see happen, and you shared it with the wrong person. And this person started getting in your ear about all the reasons why it wasn't gonna work. And man, look, you know, you're a great guy, you're a great girl, we think it could happen, but da 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 da. And but at the end of the day, the conclusion is not a good idea. Don't think that's ever gonna work. There's no market for this. It's not gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You know, you're going after something. You want to make something happen, but people kind of throwing a little bit of cold water on your flames there, right? You need to be careful who you take advice from. You need to be careful. You really need to be careful. And as I get into this video with you today, I'm going to be sharing with you some examples of people who, because they didn't listen to the naysayer, you get to see the rewards of actually what came from it. I'm hoping this is going to give you some encouragement. And then what I'm going to do is, maybe you've been trying some things and some things haven't been working out the way you wanted them to, or they haven't been working out at the level you wanted them to. I'm going to give you some formulas towards the end of this video today, like this, that are going to give you some of the steps that you can use to follow to make certain that you can make your vision become a reality. All right? So just stick with me. All right. So now, this first example I want to give you, I don't know how many of you have ever heard of the Shark Tank, but it is a program where it's out of the United States of America, where you have these venture capitalists, people who invest in companies like this. People come with their ideas. Sometimes it's a startup idea, sometimes they're already in motion, but they just want to get some money to take it to that next level. And there's some people who are doing really well and want to like absolutely take it into the stratosphere, right? People come in at different levels, but the bottom line is that they're pitching these business people. Now, why do I want to share this example? These business people are very successful. They are all multi-millionaires. They understand business. They understand what it takes to make something work, but that doesn't mean that they always get it right. It doesn't mean that they always get it right. They have missed out on some great deals because they didn't see the picture. They didn't get it. And I think it's really important for you to see this, all right? So I'm gonna run the first one. This one is on a video on the Doorbot, like this, a pitch that was made to the Shark Tank. Take a look at this one, then we're gonna break it down for you, all right? Let's go, let's check it out.
One deal that should really hurt involved a company called Doorbot, a video doorbell system.
Introducing the Doorbot, the first ever video doorbell built for the smartphone.
The sharks went out one by one.
It's really not an internet play, it's a consumer device.
I just don't think it's for me.
This company, instead of being worth 7 million, could be worth 80 million, 90 million. I just don't see that progression. And for that reason, I'm out.
But CEO Jamie Siminoff walked out of the tank and straight to the bank. Doorbot, now renamed Ring, is reported to be valued at $460 million, the most of any company to appear on Shark Tank.
Over 100 million in sales, over 1,000 team members now in the company, coming from where we were at in the garage.
This is the garage. It's a two-car office.
It has been a crazy, beyond crazy ride.
$480 million, baby. Oh my God, $480 million. That had to hurt. That had to hurt. But here's the thing. Remember, these sharks are brilliant people, accomplished people. Hell, Mark Cubin's a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like these guys are doing really good. But you have to remember, inspiration is an instruction from our Creator to do something. And just because they don't see it, that doesn't mean, because God maybe didn't put the vision in them for them to see it, but that doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to see it. And sometimes people quit way too quick. You have 1 or 2 people, 5 people say no, and all of a sudden, this thing doesn't work. well, he's a business person. He's a mogul. He's uber successful. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he or she necessarily understands your vision, nor sometimes based on their network and where they're at in their life, they're just not seeing the thing. They just don't see it. They just don't get it. That doesn't mean that it's not a good idea. Are you getting what I'm saying? Huh? All right. When you are looking at whatever vision or dream that you have, whatever you're going after, and whether you're, like, I'll give you know what, I just have to do this, so just bear with me today. Something just came into my mind and I said I want to do it. All right, let's go to Google here for a second. Which actors turned down the role for the movie The Matrix?
Here's a summary from Screen Rant. The Matrix, every actor who turned down Neo, Will Smith, Leonardo DiCaprio, Val Kilmer, and Sandra Bullock.
You hear that? In order for Keanu Reeves to get that role, those are some A-list stars that said no. So these are like, people came to them with their vision. A director, a screenwriter. Hey, we got an idea for a movie. This could be incredible. For whatever reason, they said no. Matrix became one of the biggest movies, like the trilogy, has become one of the biggest trilogies in the world, in world history. In world history. But for whatever reason, they didn't see it, they didn't get it, they didn't do it, and they missed out on an opportunity. You have, I'm trying to show you a range of examples, because some are for business, some are for just showing yourself. For some of you, it may be going out to apply for your dream job, or whatever the case may be, and get turned down by somebody says no to you. So somebody else will be turning around tomorrow, or could be turning around tomorrow and saying, oh my God, I can't believe that guy came into my office. I could have hired him. I didn't hire him. I missed out on the opportunity. And oh my God. You know, when I was in the direct sales business, going door to door, one of the key ideas or concepts was, because when I first started out, I wasn't that good at it. Once I mastered the art and the skill of it, the mantra that I always had in my mind was, somebody is going to sign up. Somebody is going to see this. Somebody is going to work with me. Somebody's life is going to be improved today. Somebody is going to take advantage of what I have to offer. Somebody. I had to keep knocking on them doors and eat no's, door slam, eat no's. This guy, I think it's Chris Niarchos, he's a guy who's huge in direct sales. He says, in the direct sales business, we eat no's for a living and we crap out $100 bills. Sorry for the graphic, but you get the idea. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to take no. You have to be able to take it and keep moving. But the key is when you get the no, is to ask yourself, well, why did I get that no? And what could I do to make an adjustment here so I can get a yes? I want to continue with one more example, and I'm going to give you the formula that you can use that can help you to make certain that you never let anybody steal your dream. I know sometimes you can get discouraged, but you can't let anybody steal your dream. I'll give you a personal example. This is me, okay? Now, when I first started out in the coaching business as a trainer, I needed to subsidize my income. So I started out with real estate, and I didn't get my real estate license. I had a buddy of mine that I worked with who I referred deals to. And so he was doing house flipping, and so I made a deal with him, say, hey, look, for every house, because my students who were coming to me to get coaching, their sales were going up, their money was going up, and their incomes were going up, and so they were saying, well, where should we put our money? Where should we invest it? And I said, well, I know a buddy of mine, he's doing I'm buying, fixing, and flipping. Let's see what we can do. And so I paired them up with him, and then they bought in, and I got my commissions. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool. You know what I mean? And then that grew into him doing developments and a whole bunch of other incredible things. And of course that income grew. And that was just it was just something that I referred. I believe in financial independence. I believe in financial literacy. And if I could introduce my students to a concept that could help them make more money, great. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, so and we could all make some money together. It's fantastic, right? Well, at one point we weren't doing any deals, and there was another friend of mine who I was introduced to, who was my buddy Glenn, who was doing real estate deals in the United States. And he was mentored by Robert Kiyosaki from the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, right? Now, and for those of you who aren't familiar with it, just look up Rich Dad Poor Dad, what the rich teach their children that the poor and the middle class do not. Robert Kiyosaki has helped a lot of people get rich with the education that he provides. Now, that was my introduction to financial literacy. And so as I am I'm talking to Glenn, and Glenn is showing me this thing called infinite returns, this thing he learned from Kiyosaki. And so he was buying real estate in Michigan, Arizona, and Texas. This is through 2008, 2009, through the recession, right? And so he was getting these properties from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These were foreclosures. And you're picking up single family dwellings for 30, 40, 50 grand. Yeah. Believe it or not, yeah. Like, fix them up, put a couple grand into them, and then you're renting them out and getting money. So we were doing this deal, and I guess we'd worked out a deal with our buyers that we would partner on equity as well as the rents. So it created a residual income for all of us and a big payoff at the end for all of us. And at one point, my buddy says to me, "Hey, Noel, you sure about this United States stuff? I don't really know. You sure you really want to do that?" And and he goes, "What if that thing goes wrong? Like with me, up here in Canada, we know what we're dealing with. We know the laws, we know the rules. But down there," and the more he's talking, like now, I wasn't gonna quit, but it started to dampen. I started creating doubt. It was enough to create some doubts in my mind, and I started thinking, "Well, what if this thing doesn't go right? And what if?" And I started to take my foot off the gas. Big mistake. Now, we did get up to about 38 properties, but I could have got to 200. And if I had gotten to 200, because now we're actually beginning to liquidate these properties and all that kind of stuff because, we're moving on to another play, that would have been millions of dollars. Millions. Instead of hundreds of thousands, millions. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. So I allowed the opinion of somebody to kill the flame inside me. That's not his fault. He was coming from his perspective. And opinions are like feet. Everybody's got them. Some of them stink. You know what I mean? Just because somebody has a perspective doesn't make them right. The Sharks were wrong. They missed out. Kevin Hart was wrong. He missed out. Right? So I just want you to get that just because somebody appears to be an expert doesn't make them necessarily right. And also, some of you are asking the wrong people for advice about, "Hey, what do you think about this idea? I got this idea to do this thing." The person you're talking to has never been in business before. They've had no experience, and they're like, "Oh man, I don't even think about that." Da, 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 da. And they're shitting on all over the idea when they've never accomplished anything in their lives. Some of you are asking the wrong people for advice. At least the people I was talking to and the person I was talking with had results in life. But even though he had results, he was still wrong. Are you getting me? You need to be careful about who you share your ideas with. You got to be super careful and understand that even if you're sharing the idea with this person, if you're going to trust them with this idea that you've got to go in knowing that this person may give you a discouraging word, and you're not going to ask them to acknowledge what you're doing. You're just asking for feedback. You're just getting feedback. Feedback is an opinion, which means you could get 100 different opinions, and you're going to get a whole different views from different people. Does that make sense? But because they don't need to give you a blessing on an idea in order for it to succeed is the point. Because you can make it succeed. So I said I would give you a couple of steps that you can use that can help you to win, okay? Now, first and foremost, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody. And nobody knows if a concept is going to 100% work. This one guy by the name of Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels. This guy is a marketing genius. And Russell, they have done hundreds of billions of dollars, I'm talking about collectively, with their student base people who've gone on and become a part of ClickFunnels to join with them, and they've done hundreds of millions of dollars on themselves. Did they do hundreds of billions? They've done billions of dollars. I don't know if it's hundreds of billions. They've done billions collectively. You know, like he knows a little something about marketing. And Russell, when I was there at Funnel Hacker Live, and he said somebody asked him a question. They had this concept for this online marketing campaign they were going to do, and they asked him, "So, what do you think of my campaign? And what do you think of the idea?" And he says, "I don't know." And he says, "What do you mean you don't know? You don't think it's good?" He says, "Dude, you have to, you got to test it. You know, you got to put out different ideas. You got to put out different things and see what the market is responding to. Sometimes you may have to make adjustments to a page in order to, you may have a great idea, but the way that you're marketing it isn't the best, like this. And then so maybe you need to make some adjustments in your approach. And then sometimes it could be your the ad, or sometimes it could be your delivery. It could be the way that you're delivering that service or product. It could be done in a better way. It could be with a slight adjustment, all of a sudden you can go to the moon." He says, "I can't judge it based on face value. I have to actually go through testing it. Let's see if it works." So all marketing is guessing then testing. You just have no idea. Nobody knows. There are some campaigns that people have put millions of dollars in that have completely flopped. There have been campaigns where people put hundreds of dollars and became multi-million-dollar concepts and ideas. That's just facts. So nobody really knows. We have best guess. Best guess. But one thing I do know, I can tell you, first thing you have to do is do a test of that idea or concept. You need to get proof of concept. And proof of concept isn't asking your friends for their opinion, because your friends, unless your friends are the people paying for your product or service or putting you on to do whatever it is that's in your heart, they're not your client base. Anybody can tell you, "Yeah, sounds great," and say, "Okay, great, write me a check." Zelly me, send me some money, send me an email transfer. Huh? Wire it, bank wire, this is the address. Got a credit card? Right. Until they are putting up money. Oh my God. I was trying to draw something. It turned out okay. Until they're putting up money, it's just an opinion. I don't care what it's for. "I'm launching this thing, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing that thing. Oh, that's really great. This is great. Oh my God, I think it's a great idea. Yeah." If they're not giving you money, it's just an opinion. So you're going to test, and then what you're going to do next is you're going to observe. You're going to observe the way people, so you're going to present what you have to offer. And then you're going to observe people's responses. And then and part of observing the response, if they give you a no, you want to know why. Why? What, like, if you don't mind me asking, what was the reason you said no? It's totally cool, but I just want to learn from this experience. And each time you're looking at, okay, so then you could also ask the question, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? Now, we're going to make some adjustments. After you've gotten some feedback from a number of people, we're going to start making some adjustments to our approach. We're going to take some adjustment in the way that we deliver what we're delivering. We're going to make some adjustments. We're going to tweak it. Slight change, slight adjustment, okay? Then we're going to pitch it again, and we're going to test it. Until we hit this. Does that make sense? Now, I have a caveat. There are some of you who are watching this who you've been having you've had a bunch of great ideas, a lot of great ideas. None of them have panned out. You're going into debt, and your family is going into ruin. Your collection agencies are coming after you. You're in trouble. I believe in a responsible approach to business. You need to have a source of income, man. While you are testing your concept or your idea. I don't care if you're driving Uber Eats. or Uber, or Lyft, or whoever. I don't care. Waiting tables, washing floors. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, cutting people's grass, washing cars. You need to have a source of income while you're going through this test. You need to have income coming in. You do not want to run yourself into bankruptcy because of this concept and this idea you have. It's not a smart way to do it. You can do that, and you're going to hear about those stories where boom, things happen and people crash. But that doesn't always happen. And some people are sitting on park benches today. That's facts. Some people are going into garbage cans and scooping stuff out, eating out of trash cans. To me, that's not a smart approach. So, and again, that's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But if you're willing to go through this process with whatever it is that you want to do, with whatever it is that you want to create, I promise you, that win eventually is going to come. Because somebody is going to say, somebody's going to say yes. Somebody. Look, let me know in the comments what it is that you're going after. Let me know how you're testing it out. You need to be like a student, so don't take it personally when people are saying no. This is just a test of your broadcasting system. You're testing. Let's see how the market responds. Let's see how people are saying. Let's see. The people who matter are the people who are going to be paying. People will vote with their checkbooks. The marketplace will always tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. Sometimes it takes time to warm up a market. Sometimes people have to get used to something before there's full-scale adoption. Bitcoin came out years ago. Now we're seeing, after, how many years has it been since Bitcoin came out? It's almost 20 years since Bitcoin's come out like this. And now finally you've got Bitcoin ETFs that have finally become acceptable. They finally got approval. So now the general market is now going to be getting in on Bitcoin, which started out as a fringe movement. Sometimes it takes time. When UFC started out, when the Ultimate Fighting Championship started out with mixed martial arts, it was viewed as human cockfighting. It took over 20 years to make it the sport that it is today. It didn't happen overnight. Are you getting me? Sometimes you have to, there are times you get the quantum leap and things are going to happen quick, but there's times it's going to be a slow burn until it catches on. If you're really that serious about what you've got and you are committed, then commit to the process. And don't stop until you get your win. Test it and make sure that your idea is viable on a small scale. Test it. And keep moving and keep testing. Keep testing, keep testing, keep testing. Eventually, whatever God put in your heart is going to be manifest. It's up to you to stick with it. Persistence is the key. I hope that you got something from this today. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, pass it on, to friends, family, colleagues, and associates. Let's continue to grow together. Have a truly powerful day.
We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the cloud.